We are at the launch of the Hyundai Exter, and the Exter is Hyundai's most affordable SUV. It is a micro SUV and it slots under the venue in Hyundai's SUV lineup. Welcome to Evo India and welcome to our walk around video where we're going to get you all the details on the new Hyundai Exter. So we're going to be talking about styling, about interiors, about features, about backseat spaces, and we're going to be talking about the prices.
Let's get it. Popping bottles nightly. Yeah, we're dancing slightly. This bass has got me feisty, feisty, feisty. Whoa, popping bottles nightly.
First up, let's talk styling. Now, we've seen images of the Exter online, so what we're seeing here is not new, but there is a lot to take in the flesh. Now, the face of it looks very cool, very funky. I actually like how it looks. It's not polarizing. It's not something that won't appeal to some people. I think it's universally appealing, especially since the venue has already gotten us used to this sort of a face. Now, here you've got split headlamps, you've got your DRLs up top. With this H pattern DRL, they look very cool. LEDs in here. Down here, you have halogen projectors, so no LED headlamps down in the actual headlamp cluster. The grille, this is pretty much solid, almost like an EV, but you do have vents down here for cooling. The badge, you've got a massive Hyundai badge. I can't tell if the badge is actually that big or the car is so small, so the badge is looking that big, but it's the size of my palm. It's quite big. The Exter badging over here, right on the nose. Again, now, this is a very Land Rover inspired theme, but it looks cool, you know. I mean, when you're going for the SUV look, it does add a little bit of character. Down below, you've got a plastic bumper and you've got a 4 skid plate. So this skid plate, it's completely fake. It actually ends right here, not too far below where it starts. So it doesn't add really anything in terms of protection, but it does look a little rugged.
Let's get it.
Now let's talk about the side profile. There are a lot of SUV elements here as well. So you've got your plastic cladding on the bottom, you've got roof rails on the top, and obviously the shape of the car itself. You've also got really boxy arches. So you look at the rear wheel arch, it's very boxy and it flares out. The front as well, it flares out from the body over here and looks very cool. The door handles, they feel high quality, they feel good, and you've got these sensors over here so you get keyless entry. The wheels themselves, 15-inch wheels with JK tire rubber on them. The wheels are fairly complicated. You've got these complicated alloy designs, but it looks okay. I'm not a big fan of these, but they go with the funky styling of the Exter. You've got more cool elements here. So the elements you see on the grille, you've got a similar trim over here on the back, and you've got this little spoiler at the rear. Now let's talk about the rear, because this is another nice looking angle of the Exter. The H pattern from the front, it continues over in the rear. You've got your reversing lights within that cluster. This parametric pattern, it continues over here in the tailgate as well. That spoiler, it looks really cool. From some angles, it looks very nice. You've got these fins that stick out, almost like airplane wings, and it's very neat looking. Again, 4 skid plate at the bottom over here. Does nothing really in terms of protection and just adds to the look of ruggedness. You've got the Exter badge over there, the massive Hyundai badge again, and you've got a 6 airbags sticker. Mind you, the Exter does get 6 airbags as standard across the range, which is impressive. We'll talk about safety more inside the car. Before we head inside, there's one more thing I want to show you, which is boot space. So you look at the boot, you've got 391 liters of boot space, which is fairly deep. You can fit a small suitcase in there easily, 2 maybe even.
Let's get it. Popping bottles nightly. Yeah, we're dancing slightly. This bass has got me feisty, feisty, feisty. Whoa, popping bottles.
Now let's talk about the interiors of the Hyundai Exter, and as is with most Hyundais, this one comes packed with a ton of features. Now let's first talk about the dashboard architecture. In some ways it's very similar to the Grand i10 Neo, so you won't feel out of place here if you've been in that car before. You've got a digital instrument cluster in front of you, you've got this touchscreen infotainment screen over here, you've got physical buttons around the touchscreen along with some knobs to control the volume and stuff like that. Below that, aircon vents, automatic climate control. You've got USB ports, so one Type-C for charging and one regular USB port for phone connect. Mind you, there is CarPlay and Android Auto in this car, but it is not wireless. You're going to have to use the USB port for that. Below that, wireless phone charger. This car is a manual, but you can get it with an AMT, and you can get it with an AMT with paddle shifters. That's a first for an AMT car. You've got cup holders, good amount of storage in here, nice comfy seats that hold you well. The driver's seat is actually height adjustable. Now, when you talk about the equipment that this car has, there's a fair bit. So up here, you've got a sunroof, you've got TPMS in here. You can also get a number of languages on here. So you can have 12 languages, both for your infotainment screen as well as your instrument cluster. So it's English, Hindi, and a bunch of regional languages that are available. You've also got a dash cam on these top-end variants, and that's something new that Hyundais are coming with these days. The Venue has one, and now the Exter also has one. So you do get cruise control, you get push-button start, and you get 6 airbags as standard across the trims. So whether you're choosing the entry-level base variant or you're choosing a fully kitted out top-end variant with the automatic yada yada yada, you're still getting 6 airbags. Now let's head over to the back seat and see what that's like. Okay, now let's talk about the back seat of the Exter. This is a small car, so it's not going to have too much space in the back seat, though it's worth mentioning that it has the best wheelbase in its class, which means it has more wheelbase than the Tata Punch. Now, in terms of knee room, I've got a fair amount of knee room, but actually my shins are touching the back of this seat, which is a bit strange. I can tuck my feet down here, but my shins do touch. That's all right, it's fairly comfortable. It allows me to stretch out a little bit despite them touching over here, and I have a good amount of under thigh support. Materials at the back, like the front, are actually all hard plastic. So this here feels a little premium, but it's still hard plastics. The whole door, everything is hard plastics. The bench itself is pretty much flat. The floor also is almost all flat. So you can fit 3 people in here if you want, but it's not a very wide car, so you will have a limited amount of knee room. Something that's good about this is you get adjustable headrest. So second row, both the 2 side passengers get adjustable headrest, but there's no headrest for the middle passenger. There's no armrest here as well, and the bench is one full unit, so you can't split it up and fold only one side down and keep the other side up. It's one unit. You either flip the whole bench down or keep the whole thing up. That aside, I've got electrical windows over here. I've got AC vents at the back. I've got a cigarette lighter port, but no USB in the back seat. And that's about it. That's the back seat of the Hyundai Exter. Headroom is generous. There's a lot of headroom over here. Let's also talk about the engine. So the Exter gets one engine. It's a 1.2 litre naturally aspirated petrol engine. Simple, basic, 82 bhp, 113.8 Nm of torque. And it comes mated to a 5-speed manual or a 5-speed AMT. But from launch itself, you also get the option of a CNG variant, and that obviously gets slightly lower outputs, but it will save you costs in the long run. Now let's talk about prices. There are a bunch of variants, manual, automatic, CNG, and prices for the whole range start at rupees 5.99 lakh ex-showroom and go all the way up to 9.31 lakhs for the top-end petrol manual. There are automatic variants as well. The automatics start at rupees 7.96 lakhs ex-showroom and go all the way up to 9.99 lakhs ex-showroom. And then obviously there are the CNGs, which are the most expensive. 8.23 lakhs they start at and go all the way up to 8.96 lakhs ex-showroom. So there is a vast spread and a little bit for everybody in there. That's it for us with the Exter. Let me know what you think about the car. What do you think about the prices? Leave your opinions in the comments below. We will respond to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining in. I'll see you next time.